Why do you keep failing over and over again? That's a question that could have many different answers based on your specific situation. But one of the biggest reasons for your failure comes down to one single phrase. You have put your problems up on a pedestal. Simple as that. We have all heard that you should never put women on a pedestal, and rightly so, because they could distract you from your true calling and purpose. The same applies to anything in life. Never put anything on a pedestal, whether that be your money, your physique, your car, and the biggest of all, your problems. Let's say a man is addicted to eating junk food every time he finishes work. He just can't help going through that McDonald's drive-thru that is on the road when he is coming back home. He tells himself, "Okay, today I won't go to the drive-thru. Instead, I will go straight home." Maybe he can stop himself from going there for 1 day or 2 days, but a time comes when he eventually gives in to the urge. The problem is not that the urge is too strong. Rather, the man has put the problem up on a pedestal. He is too focused on the problem that he has no time for the solution. The key word here is focus. Whatever you focus on is the direction you move into. Even if you are telling yourself that I won't go to the drive-thru, but the brain doesn't recognize the negative words and only picks up on the key word you are focused on, which in this case is the drive-thru. So ask yourself, are you focusing on the solution or the problem? Because wherever your focus is, that's where you are headed. Your focus is like a steering wheel. You can choose which direction it should be in. Listen to this story of a bike rider who tells the importance of not focusing on the obstacle. I started riding in high school with my dad, and then raced for Arizona State University in college. It is one of my favorite ways to exercise and spend time in the fresh air, thinking to myself. Road bikes have very narrow wheels and skinny tires. Because of this, all of the weight from the bike and rider is transmitted down onto 2 small points where the front and back tires hit the road. The narrow tires make the bike go faster. The downside is that any little rock or piece of glass you run over has an increased chance of puncturing your tire. So you have to avoid every little thing in the road. Or else, you get to spend time fixing a flat. I found early on in my cycling career that I was hitting a lot of those rocks. It wasn't that I didn't see them coming. It was just that my bike started to steer itself right into them. It was so frustrating. I mentioned it to my dad, who told me that he had experienced the same thing when he started riding. My dad said to me, "You can't look at the rock. If you focus on the rock, you will hit it almost every time. If you want to avoid it, you have to focus on a point to the side of the rock. You have to focus on where you want to go, not at what you want to avoid." I gave it a try, and he was right. I could avoid the obstacles a lot better if I looked 6 inches to the side of them. If I focused on the path I wanted to take, the obstacles came and went without any problem. So coming back to the original point, the obstacle that makes you fail over and over again could be criticism, or a failed business venture. Perhaps it is a boss you don't like or a career that no longer brings you any excitement. Whatever the obstacles are, the more you focus on them, the bigger they get. Pretty soon, they are big enough that you can't see past them. And you find yourself spending all of your time and effort trying to steer away from them. Just like with bike riding, the trick is to not focus on the obstacles. You have to focus on where you want to go, not what you want to avoid. This is where a strong vision statement comes in handy. It helps you remember where you want to go so you can overlook the small obstacles in your path. This is the exact reason why you will hear over and over again that high-value men have a strong purpose. Because without a strong purpose, you have no path you can focus on to avoid the obstacle. Without a strong purpose, you are left with nothing but obstacle upon obstacles. If you focus on the obstacles, you will find plenty of them. If you focus on the paths leading to personal success, you will achieve it. Decide where you want to steer your bike and focus on it until the obstacles pass by the side. So coming back to the original example of the man who can't help going to McDonald's, instead of telling yourself that you won't go to McDonald's, simply have a clear and direct target that you need to achieve. For example, you need to go straight to the gym, or organize sports match with your friends, or you need to complete a project or become better at your craft, or learn cooking at home. Whatever the issue and problem is, the purpose must be stronger than it. Only when your purpose is stronger than the obstacle will it attract you strongly to itself. Here are 2 ways to deal with your obstacles. Number 1. Don't make mountains out of small hills. You might have come across many people in your life who have a special talent for finding a small obstacle and turning it into a huge problem. You can see it around you, with so-called feminists, fat body movements, and so on. Most problems aren't nearly as big as our brain likes to make them. The best way to keep them in check is to get out a piece of paper and write down the different aspects of the problem and possible solutions. It is amazing how writing it down can shrink a major problem down into a manageable pebble. And finally, number 2, let go of the obstacle. Successful people have learned to always give their best effort and then let things fall as they may. No matter how you look at it, your best is your best. All you can control is your attitude and your actions. After that, it is out of your control. And that's the Stoic mindset. Whatever you can control, focus on that. What you can't control, leave it. A church pastor said this phrase very beautifully. He said, "If something is in your control, why are you upset? And if something is out of your control, again, why are you upset? Because it's out of your control. So in either case, stay grounded. Even if you can't control the situation, but you can control your reaction to it. So remember, brothers, failing in itself is not bad. In fact, success is most often found behind failure. But when you see those rocks coming in your path, focus on your goals and not on the obstacles, so that you can safely steer around them and on to success. By the way, don't forget to show some love. Tap that subscribe button and hit like for the algorithm. To see the next best way to level up as a man, watch these videos here.